Hi, this is Dina with Pretty Productive. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing and hitting the alert for all future videos. Today what I'm going to be doing is a January week 1 check-in. This has been a crazy month so far, or year, I don't know how you want to look at it. So I'm going to kind of walk you through what happened in my budget last week and what I'm going to do for this week going forward. So a few of the bills that were estimates in the beginning of the month have come in now. So my electric bill, I had estimated $170. The actual bill is $188, which is still less than last year. And then my natural gas bill, which I had estimated at $35, is actually $50. So pretty close to what I had estimated based on history. And then on sinking funds, I have already moved the Etsy shop, technology, savings challenge we're going to address today. I have moved the car fund, and I have not done anything with the Christmas gifts. Okay, so let's see how we did last week and then stuff a few envelopes for this week. I'm sorry, before we go to that, I want to talk a little bit about this medical copays. So our whole family has been sick, so we have spent everything in this account and still have a couple more bills coming through. So let me see what we've done here. I had estimated $200 for medical copays for this month, and we are at $210. So we have spent $65, $80, $21, and $35, and I still have two $30 ones for my husband and I virtual office visits. So this is just, I'm going to be way over here, so it's going to have to come out of my miscellaneous category. And then for random act of kindness, I did spend $13. I did send a friend of mine who had surgery a box of goodies, and so it was $13 in postage. I have not put any gas in the cars because we really haven't gone anywhere. And then everything else we'll address with the cash envelopes. Okay, so let's start with transactions. So I did decide to do this system this time, which basically is a check register where I'm putting all my transactions, and I'm liking it so far. So let's see how this goes. So we'll start at the beginning with groceries. Now I had two grocery expenses this month. My tab this week. My tab is empty. Went ahead and wrote them out so it would go a little faster. So I did an Instacart order on Sunday the 3rd. And it was $100, and then I did a Walmart grocery pickup on the 7th, and that was $61 or $65. So I went over in groceries. So the balance of this category I took out of my allowance because I had not spent anything in my allowance so far. So those are done. And then for eating out, we had 3 expenses. So on the 1st, we picked up food from Bambino's, New Year's Day, and that was $32. And on the 6th, this will surprise you, I'm sure, I picked up food from Sonic. And last night, the only thing my husband wanted last night was Burger King, which is very odd because he does not like fast food, but I went with it because that's what sounded good to him, and that was $7. So the total that we have spent so far is, I started with 50, and I think I have $7 left in there. So it was 32 plus 14 plus 7. So I have $7 left in eating out. No. It says I'm over. 32 plus 14 plus 7. Something happened there. I'll figure it out. Okay. So those are eating out. And then I had 4 fixed expenses that have come out. So our mortgage came out. Actually came out on the 4th, I think, because of the holiday. So it came out on the 4th. And I did just make the actual payment because we're in the middle of a refi, so it was getting very confusing. Our HOA came out on the 4th. Netflix came out on the 7th. And AT&T came out on the 2nd. Those are all done. And then my allowance, the only thing I spent out of my allowance was $40, and that was for part of the Walmart grocery pickup because I didn't have any more money left in my grocery fund. And that Walmart pickup was on the 7th. Okay. See here, I took care of the postage. My Amazon Prime subscription did come out, and that was $130, and I had really kind of brought over that amount from last month. I'll just put this on the 3rd. We did do online church on Sunday the 3rd. And I did my tithing online. So pretty much not a lot of transactions as far as going anywhere or doing anything because I live in Arizona. We are supposedly on Monday going back into a complete shutdown. We have led the world in cases, which is just frightening to think about, and of COVID. And so we are looking at a 30-day complete shutdown again. So I had to really take a look at my budget and decide how I was going to handle cash on a week that I had already had to put everything back into my bank envelope. So I think what I'm going to do, and this is what I love about a budget, is it needs to be flexible and it needs to work with you and your situation, is I think I am going to only take out the cash for allowance, and I think the rest is going to stay in the account because if we are in a shutdown, I will probably continue doing Instacart or Walmart pickup. We won't be going out to dinner. We'll just be ordering online and picking it up or having it delivered. And there won't be any, I won't be able to have a massage or a pedicure or anything like that. So this is what I think I'm going to do. And so I'm going to go ahead and go through the cash envelopes and where they sit right now and where we are. So for groceries, I spent the $125. So I have $375 left starting this week. For eating out, okay, this is what I need to figure out. So for groceries, that tab is empty. For allowance, I have $10 left because the only money that I spent was for the groceries, the difference in the groceries. So I have 160 left. And then in eating out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 left. I'm trying to figure out why I have 7 left. Because I really shouldn't. I should be over 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this to the side. For eating out, I'm going to put 53. And so that means we have $147 left. And for allowance, I have 160. For giving, I spent 100, so I have 300 left. For entertainment, I didn't spend anything, so I still have 100. Household, I spent 210 for the pool filters, so I have 300 left. And personal care, I started with 100. I didn't spend anything, so I should still have 100. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the 10 from allowance and put it to the side with the 7, because as you probably remember, I'm trying to pull from my envelopes for the savings challenge. So this week, the savings challenge is $45 to add to the 25 that I added last week. I meant to pull that out. Okay, so for groceries, I'm not going to add. Eating out, I'm not going to add. For allowance, I'm going to add $50. And I just like to have some cash so that if I just want to go grab a drink or something like that, if there's any place to do that, then I can just grab it from the cash, which is probably why I commingled last time. So I'm just going to put this back in my wallet. Now all of this money that I have today all came from my bank envelope, because this was money that was in my cash envelopes that, because I couldn't use the cash envelopes because I was online, I put the money back into the bank envelope and then turned around and pulled it out for the cash stuffing instead of going to the bank. So I hope that makes perfect sense to you guys. And then for the savings challenge, I'm gonna add $45. Actually, I think I will do it this way. I added 45, so I should have 70. $20, $40, $60, $70. Okay, put this inside. Okay, so the rest of this money is going back into my bank envelope because I did use my Capital One card for the grocery, the 2 grocery orders. I did use cash for eating out and put anything on that on my Capital One. Allowance was all cash, giving is cash. So really the grocery money was the money that had to go back into the account, plus the 40 from the allowance had to go back into the account because both of those were on my Capital One card. So 165 needs to go back. Of course, I just used 45 of it for the spending challenge, the savings challenge. Okay, so this is what I'm going to put back into my cash or bank envelope: 120, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Okay, so 142 is going back into bank. And then next week, depending on what happens with the shutdown, if we truly are being shut down again, and I'm gonna have to do everything online, then I'll either pull the balance for the month out of the account if I am able to do cash, or if I'm gonna be stuck doing it this way, then I will have to leave the money in the account and just use the card. So I'm sorry, I'm all over the board with this budget. It seems like it should be so easy, but when we all got sick, then I didn't want to go out because we weren't feeling good, and we were still trying to figure out what we had and if we were contagious and what was going on with us. So I didn't want to put anybody in risk or us more in risk. So everything I did was no contact, whether it be groceries or food or anything like that. So that's what I decided to do. So I'm just going to keep with that, because even though we are all well or on the way to being well, we all have antibiotics, we're all doing much better. We now are facing a situation in Phoenix where our cases are so high that it's not worth it to go anywhere or do anything. So I think for this week, for week 2, I'm going to go ahead and keep with the contactless delivery, and then everything contactless. And then I think for next week, hopefully I can go back to my cash envelopes and working through that. So this is it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry, this is going to be a very short and to the point video. But I think it's important to always stay super flexible with your budget. You need to make sure your budget works for you, and not, try to stick with what your plan is only because, a budget has to be flexible. And this week I need to be flexible with my budget. I'm not saying I want to go over in any category, I won't. But what I'm saying is, there are times where cash isn't going to be cash, which is my preference, isn't always going to be possible. So this time I will keep it in my account, and then I will go back next week and revisit it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week. Take care.